It's actually kind of ironic when we first talked to Ann about serving on the village board. She said there's only one thing that is a condition that I would make, and that is that I want to be able to continue to serve with our spiritual life program and in my volunteer capacities here at the village. And that is truly one of the prime reasons why she was such an important person on the board, because she has such a strong connection with the people that we support. And she really has a real connection with the day-to-day activities here at the village, and it is for that very reason that she just seemed like just a perfect person for us to be able to hear from today. And I look so much forward to what she has to share. Ann and her husband, who's in the back here, have a manufacturing concern down in Iowa Falls, and ironically, even though she and Marion Sanders seemed like they were born in the same family, they never got to know each other until they made the connection here at the village, and yet very much kindred spirits in terms of their servant hearts. And so it's a great pleasure to introduce Ann Longobardi, and I look very much forward to hearing what you have to share tonight.
Well, thank you very much, John. It was wonderful to hear the CEO's report and all the exciting things that are happening here at the village. We just have amazing leadership, very trustworthy, honorable, and so thanks to everyone who contributes to the village in each and every way. Let's take a trip together. We're headed to a tiny, quaint camp nestled in lush green, gently rolling hills that encircle a tranquil lake. Upon our arrival, we catch sight of people with disabilities and their counselors enjoying the great outdoors. Comfortable temperatures and a bright blue sky make this particular day perfect. Campers frolic in the swimming pool, and laughter and splashes of water tickle the wind. The gigantic gonging dinner bell a few hundred yards away suddenly pierces the air and announces, "Lunch is ready." And the counselors and campers slowly make their way to the benches to don bathing suit cover-ups and footwear. Most of them scamper off to the dining hall, but one teenage girl softly whimpers in frustration as she tries to slip her still wet feet into her canvas sneakers. What we observe next nearly takes our breath away. Another young lady about the same age loudly and enthusiastically bellows, "I help you!" And she kneels down and tenderly and oh so gently nudges her fellow campers' feet into the shoes. They then warmly hug and skip off hand in hand to the dining hall to share their meal together. That entire incident took place before my very eyes about 10 years ago. In an instant, and quite unexpectedly, I wasn't watching two campers fumbling with some shoes, but was transported back to the Last Supper, beholding Christ himself humbly washing the feet of the apostles. Seldom had I ever before had a bird's eye view to such a holy moment. But fast forward to today, where I am privileged to witness scenes like this frequently as I volunteer here at Opportunity Village. It never gets old, and I never, ever take it for granted. It still takes my breath away each and every time I see such gentle acts of compassion. Hearts do soar here at Opportunity Village. Spirits that take flight on the wings of wholeheartedness and are filled to overflowing with selfless love and joy. I am so intrigued by what makes personal connections delightful, and my curiosity has led me on a covert quest to discover the mainspring of healthy relationships. This evening, I would like to share with you what I have found, particularly as it relates to this wonderful family that we call the Village. My search has guided me to 3 key qualities in which truly gratifying human bonds are bathed: kinship, healthy boundaries, and resilience. As I step back, watch, and listen with purpose to the interactions at the Village and elsewhere, including those in which I myself am involved, my understanding of relationships stretches. Let's start by considering kinship. You may, as I once did, have a rather hazy understanding of this word. I never appreciated the depth of what kinship really meant until recently. Gregory Boyle, a Jesuit priest who has worked for over 25 years with individuals ensnared in the deadly gang violence of East Los Angeles, offers the best definition and job assignment I have ever found for those seeking kinship: helping one another feel our worth. Wherever this takes place, the ground on which we tread becomes sacred and lives are enriched. Kinship is all about sharing life together and dismantling barriers that exclude. It is pure godly irony that a gentle witness who is passionately committed to kinship is one of the most powerful forces for good the world has ever known. I have experienced firsthand this culture of kinship right here at Opportunity Village a myriad of times. Open office doors where clients, staff, and family members alike receive a jovial hello, an answer to a question, or help with a problem. Those with eyes to see have also caught glimpses of Christ-like kinship demonstrated by those in leadership who extend a warm hand of welcome to each and every attendee at appreciation luncheons, and are they themselves the last ones to eat, afterwards quietly slipping on aprons to wash the dirty dishes. Family and friends, many of whom are here tonight, who give of their time and talents to help in any way that is needed. Staff who make hospital and nursing home visits on their off hours, who take clients on outings, relating to them not so much as service provider to service recipient, but rather in the spirit of friendship. I have read with my own eyes the notes of encouragement and cheer that are often exchanged between these friends and are cherished more deeply than gold. Everyone faces difficulties in life, and so we're all in need of comfort now and then. The circle of mutual compassion, a foundational and integral part of kinship, is readily available at the Village. Its beauty, to me, is stunning to behold, and I personally believe it to be a direct reflection of the heart of God. People not only feel their worth here, they are celebrated. The cornerstone of the village is a deep respect for the needs, feelings, and individuality of all, including oneself. An essential component of accomplishing this goal is the setting of healthy boundaries. Anne Catherine, in her book, Where to Draw the Line, defines boundaries as limits that promote integrity and provide a clear moral compass that keeps us on track and protects the most tender part of ourselves. To set these integrity limits without resorting to the profoundly damaging tactic of defensiveness is an area in which many in our society habitually struggle. To attempt to live without healthy boundaries in place is to open the door to toxicity in our relationships. The valuable and life-altering choice to respond to challenges, great and small, with grace-filled limits instead of with anger and communication-throttling defensiveness is taught and encouraged at the village. The mutually affirming interaction between those who share life is tremendously inspiring. When the goal is genuine kinship, healthy boundaries greatly assist in creating an environment of peace and harmony. This is also the type of nurturing atmosphere in which people can grow. The following unsolicited comment made by the mother of a client who has lived at the village for more than a decade is a beautiful example of this. The parent confided, "My daughter has really blossomed since moving to the village." What a testimony to the faithfulness to the village's mission and what we're sharing about today: kinship, healthy boundaries, and our next foundational element, resilience. My first introduction to the concept of resilience occurred as I was preparing some orientation material for volunteers who would be working on a reservation in South Dakota during the summer. The reason for their journey was to engage and encourage Native American youth, extending hope to those who have little and for whom the American dream is merely a mirage. When one lives in the reality of a culture where the alcoholic rate is 85% or better, and unemployment leaves approximately 70% of the population destitute, it can be tough to find anything to cheer about. What I learned about resilience and its value for the Native American community, I quickly realized is already a vital part of life at Opportunity Village. Resilience is a critical aspect of emotional health, and all relationships benefit from it. Simply put, resilience is the ability to bounce back from adverse circumstances. Dr. Kenneth Ginsburg has brilliantly and succinctly spelled out the heart of resilience with his 7 crucial C's. And I'm going to ask, some people are already here, thank you for coming, and the others that volunteered, if you could come up and hold a sign for me, I'd appreciate it. We're going to talk about these 7 C's. I'm going to take the first one. Put it there. Can we move your hand this way? There we go. Let's see. Jeff? There we go. Got it? Is that okay? Hey, Mary. Thank you, hon. You got it? Thank you, Bill. Okay, let's see. They don't have to, and they're numbered on the back. So, thank you. Okay, well, the first C we have Deanna's holding up for us here, and that's competence. The ability to handle various life situations well, also encompassing the ability to perform a job effectively. What immediately comes to mind are all the areas that the village addresses to build confidence in life and job skills. On any given day, right here at this very center, clients can be found walking down the hallway holding up a yellow sticky note for all to see, announcing an accomplishment that they had today. So we know the village does very well in building competence. Our second C is held by our fine friend Jeff, and that's confidence. And that fits like a hand in a glove with the first C of competence. Because true confidence grows as our first C increases. As competence increases, confidence grows. The opportunities that clients have to gain competence within the patient and caring atmosphere of the village causes not surface, but genuine confidence to develop. And all who spend time here are privileged to witness this growth up close. Our third C, Mary's holding there for us, and that's connection. Having the opportunity to develop strong and healthy ties to family, friends, co-workers, one's living community, and church fellowship. And this is an area where the village really shines. Our clients are engaged in life and have many avenues with which to pursue connection. The area I'm most familiar with is our Soul Nourishing Spiritual Life program. There are many other passageways to connection at the village as well. The fourth C we have is, Bill has it for us, character. And that's possessing the fundamental sense of right and wrong in one's culture. The noble atmosphere of integrity and respect for each and every human being is immediately apparent to everyone who crosses the threshold of the village. People truly spur one another on here to be good and to do good, which leads to our fifth C, and Joe's holding that, contribution. And that means that the world is a better place because people give back or pay forward the blessings they've received. Clients and staff are offered many chances to support those in need, such as purchasing things for the Backpack Buddies program, ringing the bell at Christmas time for the Salvation Army, as well as gathering supplies and clothing for the homeless. Being able to experience the joy of giving is a blessing to all who avail themselves of these opportunities. Our sixth C is, Bill, coping. Stress is a common denominator in everyone's life. Learning spiritually, emotionally, and physically healthy ways to deal with that stress is what coping entails. And this is greatly encouraged at the village. And our final C, Pastor Rich has, control. This is so important. Helping people realize that one's choices and actions largely influence the results and consequences one experiences in life, both good and bad. Exhorting people to be purposeful about what they say, think, and do goes a long way in helping them achieve a better and more satisfying life. Thank you all so much. You can stay or sit, whatever you're most comfortable with. Let's give them a hand. Yeah. You can just take them. It's okay. Well, we all know people who just seem to naturally possess a resilient spirit, don't we? But the research shows that anyone can grow in resilience. This growth is not constrained by social order, income, education, or disabilities. Nurturing witnesses can fan a tiny spark of hope into a flame of resilient spirit in individuals who desire a better life for themselves. And this is a really key point here. Fostering resilience involves intentionally choosing to focus on what is right and good in someone's life, and having that mindset of viewing people as at potential rather than as at risk. I love that. Now, you'll see on your tables there's a little piece of paper. It says thumbs up on it. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but that's a program here at the Village, and it's an excellent example of the concept of catching people doing something right and applauding them for it. And this is for staff. You could fill that out and turn it into the office. Many have been done, and they look at those very closely. You can also go online on Opportunity Village's homepage, and if you look up at the right-hand corner, there's a brown bar that says Home, Contact Us, and Employees, and you click on Employees, scroll down 6 to the thumbs up, and click that on. This beautiful page with balloons on it will come up. And you can fill out the thumbs up form online then. Now that goes right along with the yellow sticky notes I talked about earlier, where we celebrate the achievement of our clients, whether they did something well in PPA or with We Fit, or just some act of kindness that someone was caught doing. So I would ask you to consider taking the time to encourage someone, and do it soon. That's a great thing. It's important to note that the enemy of resilience is shame. Resilience, as previously stated, builds on the good in a person's life and is a lifeline out of the mire. Casting shame using stinging words and disapproving glares tells people that they themselves are bad at their core and unworthy of our love and care. It is akin to throwing a drowning person an anchor. I personally have never seen the use of shame at the Village, never. Now you'll notice something else on your table. There's a picture of a fine fellow. His name is George Dawson. He's the African-American grandson of slaves, and he grew up in the Deep South, and he happens to be a hero of mine. His life exemplifies the spirit of resilience as well as anyone of whom I've ever heard. George was one of several children born to very poor farming parents, and he never had the chance to attend school. All his working years, he labored under extremely oppressive conditions, all the while raising 7 children of his own. The life George provided for his own offspring can be summed up in this quote from one of his sons. His son's name was Junior. And I want to read it to you because it's so wonderful. For me and my brothers and sisters, our childhood was great. If I could, I would give the experience of my childhood as a gift. It was that wonderful for me. I cannot fathom higher praise from a child for his father. Now, the next amazing thing about George is that at the age of 98, he decided to dare greatly and learned to read at 98. His success, I firmly believe, can largely be attributed to his resilience. In spite of all the times he was knocked down really hard in life, he steadfastly remained on the playing field. When word of his remarkable achievements started to spread, people stopped by George's humble home and began to ask advice about life from him. He passed away at the ripe old age of 103. Before I take my leave of you, I would like to share some nuggets of wisdom in George's own words that have greatly inspired me and doubtless many others. They are taken from a book recounting George's story entitled Life is So Good, written by George and his good friend, the school teacher, Richard Glaubman. And again, this is George's own words. All my life, I've been good to people. In all those years, every person I met, I have treated with respect. People do the same for me. That's right. It all comes back, everything you do. Sometimes it might take a while is all. I tell people not to worry about things, not to worry about their lives. Things will be all right. People need to hear that. Life is good just as it is. There isn't anything I would change about my life. Be happy for what you have. Help somebody instead of worrying. It will make a person feel better. It's good to be generous. It doesn't take much to make a difference. Even the poorest man can take time to say hello to somebody. That can be a help. Have some sympathy for someone's hard luck story. It's not about the money. Give what you can, and if you have nothing, at least pray for somebody. Have good thoughts. Life is so good, and it gets better every day. George was the owner of an expansive, thankful, and soaring heart. I truly believe that he would have loved the village community and would have been so happy to call each and every one of you his friend, just as I am so blessed to do. The spirit of warm kinship and resiliency is irresistible and contagious at the village. Come celebrate the people among us and let your heart soar here. Thank you.